teenies new and old, to Wits and Crits, a roundtable-style Q&A podcast hosted by me, Hayden. I'm your resident Dice Goblin, Vanilla Guard Boy 11 Ship Gremlin, Hayden Davio. I'm the player for Aviana Kolesh, Regan Alis, and Fionnuala Ione. For those of you who are finding us for the first time, hi, hello, we are Nat 19. We're a group of actors, performers, and improvisers who have come together through our love of storytelling and mutual nerdery. Today, I have on the show Anna Garcia, aka Squeakychiona, as well as Aaron Robert Parnell. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, you fine pieces of meat. I love you.
Only if Aaron does it first.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aaron Robert Parnell. I'm cute and stuff and junk. I play Miriam fucking Lucius and also Emmanuel Locke. And sometimes I DM, I guess.
I guess.
And I am Anna Garcia, also known as Squeakychiona. I am the resident pink thing of Net 19, and I play Colibri Constance and Marile Injustice.
Oh, I love them. I love them all so much, and that's why I'm going to ask them questions. Invasive questions. By rolling dice. So how this works, if you've never joined us before, weird that you're starting on this one, but you know what? You do you. Live your truth. I will roll a d4 to determine who I'm going to be asking the question to, and then I will roll a secondary die to figure out which question. Sometimes I'll change it up, sometimes the dice don't matter because I said so. It's my show, I can do what I want. So I'm gonna start by rolling our Vestius gemstone dice that are available on nat19show.com/shop. Anyway, we have number 2, so it's for Aaron.
That's who I am.
That's you.
Oh, man.
That's the cat boy.
Sounds like a nerd, honestly.
I mean, yes, but it's still you. All right, so, ooh, this is juicy. We're getting right into the meat of it. So, Aaron or Miriam, either or, you can answer for both. What are your theories on Velis and why and how he's affected the highest standard? Is there any worry that the only reason the party was formed is due to Velis's influence?
I mean, I guess there's like a light tingling on the back end of my brain hole that could be, at least to some degree, the case. Velis has touched basically most members in some direct or indirect way. Theory-wise, I have no idea why. I've sat on Velis for a bit, and the disparate events caused by Velis, each on their own, don't have any strong enough connection for me to make any like really well-footed theories. So outside of like a bwaha, I'm going to destroy the world, which doesn't seem like what they're up to.
Nah.
And isn't really Logan's MO anyways. I got nothing if I'm being as honest as possible. I couldn't possibly tell you. They seem to be tied to some organization, which we don't know anything about, that is even more secret than like the principal. Which is wonker bonkers.
Yeah, fucking whisperers, and I want to know more.
The whisperers, like, it feels like they fucking stand outside of like reality as far as I need be concerned at this point, because they're so intangible that it's really hard to ground anything else. But clearly the whispers have some aim, and the aim is pretty grand in design. If these, again, quite spread out, very unrelated events are pushing towards some sort of common goal. Again, hell, depending on, we've already touched on things like prophecy and whatnot, the highest standard existing in its form could absolutely be an intended consequence of everything Velis has done. And the fact that Velis specifically told me to never look for them or I'd regret it could be a way of them being like, yeah, but I need to say that so they will do it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure that they do.
It feels like bait.
Of course I am. You dick. But outside of that, I don't know. I got nothing. I'm right in the dark with you, question asker.
We don't heckin' know. I'm so fascinated by it. Heckin'. All right. Good answer. I like that. Because I want to know. I have so many thoughts and theories, but also nothing. It's those passing thoughts where you're like, maybe it's this, but it's, I don't know. I want to know what the whispers are about, because they talk to, because Velis spoke to Vanderbilden, it was in Miriam's fucking brain. It's like, I don't, what the fork?
I helped set up Raleigh, which in turn is what freed Lexi.
Yeah, they're kind of at the heart of things, and I'm like...
They also dicked with the Crystal Queen.
True. You right? I forgot about that.
I feel like there's a name for that, like, very rare trope. Like, there's that, like, is it the Lich Pin? Not the Lich Pin. What do you call that?
It all comes down to Doug.
I don't. It's one of those.
I
The
know
trope
what
isn't
you're
called "It All
yeah.
Comes Down to Doug." It should be called "It All Comes Down to Doug."
It's just like that one. It's that one thing where it's like when you start looking at everyone's story, that one constant that it's just like, wait, was it Eisen the whole time?
Yeah,
The only thing that comes is it's Eisen.
He is our Eisen. He's our whoopsie doopsie Captain Eisen.
God.
That's it. It's actually Eisen. We're actually running a Bleach campaign. It's been a Bleach campaign in disguise this whole time.
Oh, the true web spinner of everything.
Fucking goddamn it. Anyway, I'm gonna ask a question. Oh, it's for both of you.
Ooh.
Roll a dice. Okay. Anna and Aaron. On repeated instances, Marile has been like a mother to Manny. Given that Emmanuel has expressed interest in finding his mother in the past, if things turn sour for whatever reason, would Marile consider formally adopting Emmanuel, and would Emmanuel be reciprocal to this situation?
So the very simple answer, and I say this implying that this is a complicated one, but there might not be actually, is that if there was ever the chance to adapt Manny into a movie, adopt Manny, she would absolutely love to. And it seems very likely that Nicolo is not against this. Now, so she has all she needs, aside from what Manny wants. And if Manny doesn't want Marile as a mommy, or they find Manny's mom and it's time to return him to where he quote-unquote belongs, then she would totally respect Manny's choice, whatever he thought would be happy, like the best choice for him or the happiest choice for him. She would absolutely respect that. It would break her heart, but that's that thing of like, when you really look at the timeline of things, she's only known this child for like a week.
Yeah.
Like, it would be very weird out of context to be like, I met this lady and suddenly she's my mom, and now she's actually my mom. Like, you've only known her for a week? Like, so
Yeah.
that's that thing of all that's where, all jokes aside, she'd be like, no, to your parents, you have a mother. Aaron?
What about Manny?
Manny is viciously weak to any sort of maternal figure, and will basically do what they tell him to do. He really, really likes Marile. So if they're like, I'm your mom now, he'd be like, cool, I have two moms, I guess. He would. There's no universe where he wouldn't roll with it, because that's all Manny does. Manny has already been conscripted into a interdimensional military as a child, so not much would phase him. Like, a week for him is, he's like, sure, I don't know, this has been the most exciting week he's had in ever. This has been a larger percentage of his life than it has been for most other people in the group, and he's been having a blast blowing things up and nearly dying a lot, and maybe not because, I don't know, maybe God was like, we can't kill another kid in MIT.
Oh my god.
And yeah, no, he'd have fun with it. And honestly, I feel like if we did find, and I don't think we will in this campaign, I don't think that's gonna be a thing for Manny. Just as a person on the outside, I don't know where they'd fit in so cleanly to make that a thing. If this were like a longer term one, that would probably come up at some point. But I can't imagine it would be good for Manny to actually be reunited with his mom unless there's some sort of like grand thing going on where clearly they knew he needed the like Bassett's collar to deal with everything coming up, and that they're going to be such a good little witch. More than likely, they're just probably not a great parent in this respect, and they could be like real bad. I think it would be a big thing. I know that like Colleen, for instance, would absolutely not under any circumstances want to relinquish Manny back to his mom. I can almost guarantee that being the case.
Well, they also seem like Colleen almost put herself into like a little, or at least that was the joke.
Oh yeah, the battle of the moms.
Yeah, where like Colleen seemed to be like, no, wait a minute, if anyone is going to be Manny's mom, it's going to be me. And it's just like, I don't know, like you're not the one traveling with us. You're all up giving freaking Adric blue balls. I don't know if you're really mother material, ma'am.
Damn! Here for it though.
Yeah. Just about anyone that we've met could, like, at least anyone maternal that we've met could probably easily kidnap Manny. Because they'd be like, come with me, and be like, all right. They'd be like, all right, where are we going? And it wouldn't be until much later that he'd be like, wait a minute. I need to go home.
Oh
but in terms of everyone else, he likes the group, so he'd have a lot of fun. He would almost certainly, this is just Aaron talking, would go through a very rapid learning process.
Yeah.
I've had his comprehension start at -999. I originally increased it by 3 every single game. I've started just going up by more because he's been around all of y'all for so long. Now he has to learn a little quicker because he's like, wait a minute. There's no way I can stupid think my way around that. They're talking about butts.
That's also that thing of like, again, if like, so far every potential mommy candidate from Manny has also come with a potential daddy candidate. So it's like, do you want Nicolo as his dad, or does he want Adric as his dad, or does he want his actual dad? Like, so far, so far, it's like the potential parents are like a set. It's like choose your nuclear family. And
Manny's also been the product of like a it takes a village kind of situation with the knights, because they're not really equipped to handle a cinephile child who has a magical explodey ring.
Yeah.
And so it's been bouncing him around from person to person to make sure he's learning the things he needs to learn as just a regular person, along with instilling the like extreme responsibility of the Knights of Ulyssia onto him and training him to at least to do the bare minimum that he needs to protect himself. So it's there's tons and tons of people that I'm sure within the Knights alone are like, yeah, no, this is our child.
Yeah. We definitely have to have a talk with the Knights.
Yeah, a little bit.
They have the closest thing to legal custody of this child than anybody else right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, we're taking that ring, and then it wouldn't come off. And they're like, well, it's either the hand or the entire child. And the hand might not actually get rid of it. It could very easily just appear in his other hand or like around his neck.
So we're taking the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No babies, but I do have more questions.
Meow.
Meow. Number 2. It's another Aaron one, apparently. That's what the dice are saying. I'm going to roll the dice. Yeah. Let's see. This is just a cute, fun one. For Manny, staying in the DMS territory. For Manny, what is your favorite movie? And would you show it to Dante? Or is there another film in mind that the mammoth of for that mammoth of a devil hunter?
Manny does not have a favorite movie. Manny's favorite movie is the movie he's watching right now. He absolutely wants to watch it. If the movie sucks, he will let you know, but he probably won't know if it sucks until it's most of the way through. Like, he still has, Manny is 12, but he has the like general excitedness and like distractibility of like an 8-year-old.
I was gonna say, it's just like, well, a little bit younger, there's a little bit of like almost my partner's nephew, where it's just like, look at this, and it's like you're watching something with him, and now they're gonna do this, and then they start doing it, and then it's like, thanks.
Manny's probably watched like a lot of these like multiple times, because halfway through the movie he started doing that thing where you spin your arms and just let them limply slap your body at the sides, and that became his experience now, and whatever's going on in the movie, and then he has to bring himself back to it. So it's like, wait, hold on, I need to watch it all again. And as for showing Dante a movie, he would not have an answer for you. There's no way he could give you that. He would devolve into a gibbering mess and be like, we need to find the pile. And he would have to find all of his like reliquary DVDs from these old machines that barely exist anymore.
Oh, yeah. He would have like DVDs, not really Blu-rays. Because the Knights of Ulissa lives in 1910 times. Who the... Oh...
Oh, goodness.
They're not like super in the past or anything, as far as I understand, but they definitely would have some of those things, especially with fucking the way Colleen and Adric have talked about tech. So yeah, I'm sure he's had a VHS a couple times as well, and like he's got a lot of those, and be like, all right, I need to find movies to show Dante, but he also wouldn't want to. Like, he'd also be like, but I need to learn everything about Dante. Dante, what movie do you want to watch?
I want to almost believe that, like, initially the Knights, like, got him, like, educational stuff. And then, like, old PBS recordings that somehow found their way on DVD. Because it's like, this is, like, public service. This is educational stuff, and children watch this, right? And then, like, then it started going into, like, Disney movies, and then, like, Don Bluth movies. I don't know, I have a weird thing in my head where, like, they brought, like, Manny some pretty bad movies.
Yeah. Some real stinkers, and then he's like, wait a minute. The Terminator.
Yeah, just someone brought in the Terminator and freaking Iron Man, and just... Someone was like, yo, these movies, someone in the Knights was on Manny movie duty and looked at the pile and said, these suck, and got him a real movie.
Like, let me show you what film is, child. It's so cute. I fucking love Manny.
One of the benefits of his distractibility is that he's definitely seen a lot of movies that has subject matter not appropriate for a person his age. But they, just be like, hey, look over there. And he'd be like, oh.
Hey, was that
take
Dante?
off his hat and disable him. And he's just like, man.
I love that that's a thing.
Just fucking hat. Just looks at this old DVD. What the heck is Cool Cat? Fuck this. What the fuck is Cool Cat? We're watching Deadpool.
I called my subs Cool Cats for so long, and then Logan's like, you might want to reconsider.
I want to believe Manny has seen Cool Cat Saves the Kids at least once.
Yeah, even on my Discord, the sub role is called Cool Cats.
It took me a sec until you said the full title, Squeaky, for me to remember what the fuck you were talking about. I'm pretty sure Logan showed me that when I was living with y'all.
I was trying to remember what's a really bad kids movie that you can buy on DVD, and it's like Cool Cat Saves the Kid.
Oh my god. Fucking cool cats. Something, I don't have cool cats, but I have questions. I'm gonna ask another question. Oh, it's for Anna. Like, I don't know how to segue smoothly out of this. The last one Aaron was on was with Spencer, where I was just incapable of smooth transitions ever.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I've accepted this is who I am. But it's for you! It's for Anna! Yeah. Okay, well, it's the heckin' first one on the list. Let's go. But I don't feel like answering that one. I'm gonna answer this one instead. I say answer. I mean ask. I speak words so good. Marile, you were willing to put yourself in danger to get Nicolo to unlock his devil trigger abilities. Why were you so adamant about doing that for him? And especially in the way that you did.
So, if there's been a weird mantra that Marile lives by, it's fuck around and find out. She's lived by fuck around and find out. And I think at the time it was, I'm trying to remember because again, my mind is a mush. At the time, it was her, Manny, and Arden that had their devil triggers.
Yeah, if I remember
and
right.
At that time, like, the only thing she knew about Nicolo was the whole Order of the Sword thing. But once it started coming out that there might be something more about him, she was like, okay, so he's not entirely human like I thought. First off, that explains a couple things. Some things suddenly make a teeny bit more sense, like the fact that he's so resilient despite being what he is. And then going into it, it was just like, okay, well, he's putting himself in a very questionable predicaments, and if we gotta get out, I probably can't handle it by myself. Because, at least in my opinion, while Marile, like, I love Marile's devil trigger, but she's squishy. She's always been squishy. And
Curse of a bard.
She's always been a squish. And that's that thing of, if anybody's devil trigger can get them out of a predicament, especially with Order of the Sword bullshit, it would be him. And that was the thing of like, well, who's really good at pushing Nicolo's buttons and pissing him off? Or getting any sort of emotional rile of Nicolo, whether it be good or bad? It's Marile. By how? By being Marile. So it was like, what do? Be me! Just let me put myself in danger. Let me put myself in situations where it's like, Marile, how could you do that? Because she's also like, I know you'll get me out of it. I know you'll get me out of it. I believe in you. So she fucks around and she finds out, and she has no qualms with like putting all her chips on the table. Because what's the worst thing that could happen? She dies.
Yes.
Okay.
that is.
What's the worst thing? Well, I'm fucking dead.
Well,
Then I'm dead. So it's like she considers herself pretty lucky. She's like, there's many situations in which I would have been dead, and yet here I am. Someone was literally sent to kill me, and yet I'm still here. So it's like, she's like, oh, it'll figure itself out. She's a bit too lucky, I'll be fair. She's a bit too lucky at times. But it comes down to that she believes a lot in Nicolo. And I think they when her and Theo had that talk, one of the things that she had pointed out was that, or maybe it was just one of our like several conversations in private or whatever, I can't quite remember, but she also has this thing in her head where she's like, if anyone is to kill her, it can only be Nicolo.
Yeah, I remember that was one of our conversations, because Marile was like, hey, why do you keep like poking at this? What's the goal here, buddy? I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like there's just something going on.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
she had mentioned that Nicolo's the only one who could kill her.
Yeah, because it was just so in that thing, it was like Nicolo will never let me die, and the only one who I will let kill me is Nicolo. So that's it's so weird explaining it because it's like my brain is like going in like 50 directions trying to make it make sense. But it's just like, yeah, no, she's pretty damn sure that the only one who could probably kill her, not just for sheer ability, but just fate will not let her die, is no, the stars have decided, whatever has decided, the only man that can kill me is this man, and I will let him do it. The moment he's like, you die now, she's like, here I am. But and because of that, she's just like, no, whatever's going on here, it's not gonna kill me. Why? Because it's not Nicolo.
Because I said so.
Because I said so. Because Nicolo. And it kind of just is a testament to how much she has, like, low-key really loved Nicolo. Just has been very Marile about not saying it because she never thought she was good enough for him.
And yet, here we fucking are.
It's another hole. It's another hole.
I love them. Their dynamic is so fun. I love Marile. She's not what I expected you to come in with for DMS, because like you and I had never played together before, but I knew like a little bit about like Polo, and like I'd heard like a little bit about other characters like leading up to DMS. Marile is not what I expected, but I love her, and I just want to like focus on you for a second, just compliment you for how grounded and well-rounded she is. Like, she feels like a person and just very real and tangible. You've done a wonderful job with her, and especially like your first time coming into like Nat 19. Like, I know you have a lot of roleplay experience, so like I can't say I'm shocked, but just well fucking done, dude. Like, she's so good. Marile is wonderful.
She was gonna my original idea for her was that she was going to be a lot more bitchy.
Really?
Because, like, when we concepted Marile and we had decided that, you know, we're gonna kind of start in pairs and she's with Nicolo, I had this idea where she had like resentment towards Nicolo, where she's like, I'm stuck with you. It's almost like it's almost like in that married couple, but as in like they actually hate each other, but they're still married kind of thing. Excuse me. Where she was like, you ruined my life. I'm in this situation because of you. I would have rather you killed me, or shit like that. Like, I don't know how close to how borderline the bitchiness would have been, but she would have been bitchier. Where like, she wouldn't have cared if, like, he had to go out of his way to, like, take her to work or anything, because it's like, well, you could have just killed me, and we wouldn't have to be dealing with this now, are we? But, I don't know, just when game started, and, like, the little shenaniganry started, and it was just like, no, no, she's just chill. She's, like, you know, she's just happy that she's not alone. Like, she likes teasing him, she likes poking him, she likes making him a little bit mad. She never wants it to get to a point where he might catch feelings, but she doesn't want to be mean to him, because what if he does go away? Then she's alone in this country and she doesn't know anybody, and yeah, she'll be fine, but like, she'll be alone. So it's like, she was like, I like this one. He's sweet. He's sweet.
My sweet little like, pizza man.
He's just my sweet little pizza man. Like, he's doing his best.
I love it. I always love hearing like how people kind of find their characters after they start playing them. We've talked a lot to like different people about like how they expect their characters to be versus how you end up playing them. Like, I guess, like, to jump off of that, like, instead of just even asking you guys another question, do you have other characters that's kind of happened for you, like, for both you and Aaron, like, other characters where you're like, this is how I expect them to be, but once you open your mouth as them, just they morph into something similar, but not quite what you expected.
Aaron, you go first.
I have very little expectation for what my character is going to be like anymore. After I can't even remember when it happened. I think it was around campaign. I guess probably just after campaign 1, because playing Lancer, I had kind of a pre-script for roughly what the character would be like, and then it was just me putting in the effort to be a giant dick all the time. But after that, when we started doing stuff in Tomb or other things all the time, you kind of run into that paradox of you can have a fully formed out, like, script of a character in your head, this perfect blueprint, but you have to suffer through the slings and arrows of opening your mouth, and that will always affect it in some way, even if it's not super noticeable, or you can kind of nudge it back where you want. And one of the greatest stresses I find most players have is when a character doesn't live up to a perceived standard that they put onto that character. Anytime anyone in Nat 19 has had like a lot of grief with the characters, usually because they wanted something out of them that they weren't getting, and they might not have known at the time why, or maybe they did, but they didn't know how to remedy it. And the only real answer is you roll with it. You know, when we were at the beginning of beginning-ish of Vestige, and Lexi accidentally outed themselves to Edrigan, that crushed Carrie for a bit. And it's like, maybe your character's prone to slip up sometime. Everyone has their own things, and that's just they made the spy's mistake of feeling safe for a moment. And no one can really begrudge them that, but because they had the idea of being this very secretive, very close to the chest spy, that like slip up statement was a wrecking ball to their character concept, and it really bothered them for probably a week or two. And they came around on it, because you kind of do with time, or you end up leaving a character. So yeah, ever since starting Vestige, I've had none of that, because I've talked about my character process with making Miriam.
Yeah.
It's been chaos all along, and I kind of live for that. And I probably will try and do a more prescriptive, like, character creation thing again at some point, but I've been living for letting go in all aspects of D&D, just to see where it goes. And it's fun. It's free.
Oh yeah, no. I sometimes like give myself maybe I think of a couple ideas of where the character can start, but I never like marry that idea. Where again with Marile, I thought she was gonna be, I was hoping to come in, or the idea was more bitchy, more resentful, but that was that thing of like, again, sometimes characters just don't end up how you imagine them starting out at first, and then it's just like, okay, well, I guess this is where we're going. Well, it's a good thing we didn't freaking set that in stone. I didn't say, like, Marile's a bitch at the start, because it's like, she didn't. She wasn't a bitch.
It's one of those things where, like, you can have an idea, and you can be playing it out generally, like, how you're expecting to, and then another character will talk to you in such a way that will bring out something in your character that you weren't super aware was, like, there for them.
Surprise.
It's like, oh, they feel this way about this, or this sort of thing makes them react in such a way. And I think that's so fun. And I think that's like one of the best parts about just like letting go. And it's all improv. So it's like, that's one of the best parts about just kind of letting go, is just being taken along this ride of what the fuck is gonna happen. It's the ride of fuckery.
Yeah, that actually makes a question come to my mind, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
So this is something that I do sometimes, and I feel like whenever I talk about it, it sounds weird. But after a couple games of playing a character, I kind of like mentally sit myself down with the character, almost like in a pseudo like therapy kind of thing. And I'm just like, so why are you like this? Because whenever I create a character, I don't go super ham on their backstory. Like people they know. I kind of give, again, very base ideas, and then I let the character talk. I let the character kind of get their bearings, talk to people, their experiences, and then it's like, okay, so why are you nervous and shy? Why are you a gremlin? Why are you, so attached to XYZ? And then kind of, what does the character have to say about that? Like, okay, like, why am I nervous? Oh, because my family for the most part neglected me, so I'm very like withdrawn and skeptical about how I approach certain matters because my family has either been neglectful or very dismissive of me. Or why are you a gremlin that is obsessed with cuddling so much? And it's just like, maybe I'm just very touch-starved because my one guardian, while reassuring, was not a very like huggy type person. So now I want to find it wherever I can, and I'm desperate. And so it's like, that's something I wonder if people do as well with their characters, where they ever just kind of like in their head, like, so Aviana, why are you like this? What made you like this? Or Miriam, why are you like this? I wonder if people do that.
You go ahead, Aaron, because I have my answer, but I'm interviewing y'all nerds, so you go first, boy.
If I'm brain rotting about a character, it never takes the like literal same form as like hey, why do they feel this way or anything. A lot of the time, it's just putting myself into these imaginary scenarios in their past and being like, how would they have gone through certain things. And it lets me build up a broader base of character than otherwise are capable. Like a lot of the stuff with even with Lancer, I had to kind of give him some stuff that it wasn't anything Logan gave me. I was like, I'm just gonna make some decisions about his like childhood because I have creative license and I'm taking it. That it let me inform a few things in much smaller ways than probably anyone ever cared to notice, and that's fine with me. A lot of my favorite stuff are the things that you might need to watch twice to really catch, or you need to go back for. I adore the subtleties of characters that are really hard to make sure you're displaying in D&D without being overt, and finding that fun balance. But I never get into a interrogative place with my characters. It's usually just me lying in bed and just running through the universe as though my character. And just brain rotting until I either have to go to bed or I'm too sad to continue. In the case of Mary.
Yeah. Oh, that boy. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of in the middle for me. I wouldn't say like I sit down and go, all right. Like for Avi, for instance, like, why are you like this? There are a myriad of reasons why she's like what she's like, but a lot of like, she's the best example where it's like we had like a basic outline. Here's the basics of where she comes from, the basics of what drives her. It was again, she's gonna be a guest spot, so I'm not gonna think too deeply about it. Usually I don't sit down to like really dig into a character until I've played them for a couple of sessions. Because I want to get to know them as well and see how they come out of me and see how they react. So I'm like, I didn't really start like fleshing out who she was until like I knew that she was going to be staying. I think it was like my second or third session where I realized, I'm like, oh, she feels this way about this. She feels this way. Oh, she's got a bit of a crush that she's never gonna fucking act on because this. Here's the outline of why mom stuff and where all these things come from, why she likes to sing, blah, blah, blah. And like, it's usually after I've gotten to know them for a couple of sessions that things start rolling. And similar to you, Aaron, it's a lot of, let me just lay here and brain rot and just kind of flesh this out in my brain, and oftentimes it's like, oh, I'm sad now. But with Fio, she's an entirely blank slate. Like, Fio is literally reacting. Ow, my mic. I say ow. I'm sorry, microphone. I need to treat you better. But it's been just reacting to every situation. she has been built off of just pure improving to whatever is thrown at me. So it's dependent on the character, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to actually put it. Just kind of laying down and brain rotting, because that's what I'm doing too. I'm just kind of laying in bed thinking, and it's just like freaking, for example, like with Marile's whole thing with Nicolo, was like, why are you like that with Nicolo? And it's just like, oh, because XYZ. And it's like, yeah, it could be because of that, and maybe a bit of this too. It's kind of like, it sounds so weird when I put it. It's like working together, but it's also like me. Like
no, it doesn't sound weird at all, because I super understand.
It's kind of, again, like you guys put it though, where it's just like you start finding the puzzle pieces and putting them together as you play the character, experience things as the character is reacting to things, and then it's like, you know, the character wants to explain something, and you kind of end up making something up, improvise, and it's like, oh, that explains why you're like this. And then it starts kind of building. And then it's just like, oh, things are making sense. This character is fleshing out. We went from that lump of clay, and now we've got like a long thing. Now we're gonna turn it into a vase. So, like, that's... My brain's weird. My brain's a little funny.
No, I love your brain. And I want to ask more questions to your brain. What a good fucking question, Squeaky. Thank you. You understood the assignment.
It's because, like, I always think about my characters a lot, and I brain rot a lot with my characters and, like, how or why they do the things they do. So I always wonder if, like, I'm like, it can't just be me. It can't just be me.
The amount I understand. It's like, please tell me I'm not alone in this. So good. Hopya! Oh, it's for Aaron.
Meow.
For that boy. That meow boy. Also, how dare you? Oh, meow has entered my fucking vocabulary, and I blame you.
Oh, meow.
I said it the other day, and the hubs was like, I hear it. Wow. It's like, shut up. Let me have this. Okay.
Do it. Keep at it. Make him do it.
I am. Okay, this is a cute one. Maybe. We'll find out if this is gonna be cute or sad. Miriam, when you were speaking to Clover about your outlook on sex and in mentioning who of your friends you'd slept with, your tone seemed to dip a bit when referring to one that would never happen. Care to elaborate? I have no context for this. I wasn't there. Tell me words. Elaborate.
My tone slipped?
It said, when you were mentioning who you had slept with, your tone seemed to dip a bit when you were referring to one that would never happen. Care to elaborate?
Do I? Do I care to elaborate?
Do you? I want you to.
Who's the one that'll...
I mean, Miriam doesn't think he's gonna really have sex with anyone else in the group, so it's like, it could be anybody, and that's real fun.
Who does he feel like they're the one that just perpetually gets away? Like...
Miriam's flirted with everybody, and basically, since meeting Lexi did the one thing that's the easiest way to disarm Miriam entirely. They briefly made him think that they might not know what sex is. And as soon as that was the case, he's like, I see. That was that. And then recently he's only been exploring their aceness and what that means for their relationship with Quintus. And then he's flirted with Aviana to high hell and back. And that's never going to happen because, you know, they're in a loving, committed relationship with a doorknob.
I mean, you're right.
You could have also just said a pint of vanilla ice cream.
Nah, doorknob works. Especially, to be fair, it could be a post office box. Given how many times we passed letters into the Platinum District through him. But, yeah, I don't know. Miriam's not really gonna hook up with probably anyone in the highest standard again. Fenris is seeing Tantia, and while he's down for round 2, he prefers life. And Avi doorknob, and he prefers life. Lexi's with Quintus, and also doesn't want to have sex. Quintus is Quintus. I don't even know if Flux can. And Vogan and Sunder aren't really in his typical wheelhouse, and one of them is dating a small ice goblin, and the other one's a dog.
You mean Cinder?
Sunder, yeah.
Thunder, there we go.
The dog boy.
So
The dog, yeah.
in his immediate circle, there's just really no one batting in the league that Miriam's shooting for.
What's wrong with the dog?
What's wrong with the dog?
Yeah,
There's a perfectly fine and capable wolfman right there.
He's got muscles for years and stuff. Again, it's not a flat now. Miriam was in the same journey trying to figure out, like, he was really happy Clover was around because he didn't really understand the mechanics of how he would try and flirt / have sex with a shark. So he was like, yeah, no, this is a lot more immediately understandable to me. What's up?
And then she destroyed you.
and then they cut me to the quick. Yeah, no, that's Miriam's. Yeah, it's a darn shame, I suppose, isn't it? A shame indeed.
It was a shame.
Hoo-wee.
Hoo-wee.
That poor horny boy.
Oh, I love him so much. Man. Now I'm just so curious. I'm like, now I want to know exactly what they were referring to. I'm like, the only thing I could think is I've heard, like, whispers of, like, what went on. Because I'm like, I was listening to y'all, but, like, in the background while working. So I was like, it's kind of passive listening where you're like, I'm not really paying attention. It's like, I know from talking to Katie, he had mentioned, like not gonna happen with Lexi, because one of them's dating your best friend. One of them you've slept with. Hello, Fenris. Well done. She's a hottie. It's like, and I'm assuming Avi was in there somewhere, and I'm like, I'm not sure.
Like,
Is that where
none of the guys
slept?
are batting, and Miriam's the last guy Miriam tried to sleep with was Argo, and that didn't go good.
No.
So the soft squishies have been doing him much better in that respect, and yeah, it's just not prospective for that boy.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I've only seen the Griddler clip, so it's just like, that's all I saw, and I was like, oh my god, Clover read you.
Fucking, I think it's the next night, they're literally like, wait a minute, were you asking me to have sex? It's like, yes. They're like, oh, I see. Well then.
There's something beauty. That's the thing of beauty right there.
It was real funny. That bless Griddler. If you're listening, buddy, bless you.
Bless.
Mwah. We appreciate your hard work.
Week.
So funny. Their comedic timing is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my seamless segues to other questions. Oh, look, it's
Yeah, sorry that's all you got, but I'm like,
no, it's fine.
I need more specifics.
I don't know, it's just what was asked. So I don't fucking know, dude. Yeah. Ooh, this one is fun. For me. It has been discussed that Dante might take issue with Fio having the Yamato. What are your characters' thoughts on the possibility that Fio might be forced to give up who she is for the sake of the brothers? Is Manny willing to fight his idol if it comes to that? And where does Marile stand on the situation?
No one likes a bully.
I feel like I had a witty remark for that because, again, like, seeing how distraught Theo was when it was like, I'm just a sword, and it's just like, no, honey, you are, I was gonna say human being, but it's like, no, you are a bean. It's
You
like
are
just
a chicken
bean.
nugget.
You are a chicken nugget. You are our Chim Kim Nugget.
I'm just a sword and life is a nightmare.
That's just that thing where it's just like a little part of her is like, this is why we can never have Manny meet his idol, because the moment we do, we have to kill him because he might take Theo. And it's like, she's definitely willing to fight Dante if it means keeping Theo. There's also that part of her that wants to believe that, like, this man is renowned and known, and Manny looks up to this man. And if she's heard anything about Dante, because I don't know how much we actually know, at least passively, about Dante, but if he's this great person, it's like, hopefully he can come to some sort of understanding. Like, we found her first. Like, we found Theo
This is
first.
ours.
This is ours. Like it's just like, I'm here for the sword, and it's just like, what sword? Does she look like a sword to you? That's rude. That's not how you get a good impression with a lady, sir. Like, this is not. Also, she's taken. like this is. That's that thing of, like, if she's heard that Dante's a horrible flirt, is just like, oh man, the rumors were true. You suck. like she will try to bullshit her way out of it, probably, because again, she is squishy and Dante can probably destroy her. But then maybe, who knows? Maybe freaking we'll have a segunda etapa devil trigger for Nicolo. So like, maybe maybe Nicolo will say, I don't know, but she'd do whatever she can to keep a Theo.
No.
Like, she doesn't know Dante like that, so it's like, it's either her or Dante. She's picking Theo.
Manny knows Dante like that, and that means Dante can take whatever Manny can throw at him. If Dante just showed up and was like about to just literally throw down with Theo, yeah, Manny would probably try and do something, but it would be all right, I'm going to gush and ask for like your autograph while fighting you, because he's still going to be excited, but he'd also, he would definitely be under the pressure. Like, there's no way I could really hurt Dante, right? Disintegrate. Because Dante's Dante, and Dante will be fine. And that'll, slow him down and stop him, and maybe he'll give me his autograph in the meantime.
Are you sure, Dante? You don't need the Yamato. When have you ever used the Yamato, Dante? You put all the other devil arms on eBay when you're done with them. Like, you don't need it.
Hear me out. What if you just kill Arden instead?
No.
Pito would love that. Pito approved. Look, Mundus, he's over there, points at Arden. Oh, look, it's Mundus.
Oh my god.
That's probably where we're gonna TPK, is essentially
knew
what
it.
Yeah.
I knew Mundus was Irish.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
So good. Theo feels very loved by her homies. I will not elaborate further. We need to put more TMS for that. Mwah.
Yeah.
Another question. Meow. For na 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 na. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes, I was excited to ask this one, because I honestly forgot this happened, so this was a nice refresher for me.
Oh.
Marile didn't seem to leave on the best terms with her boss Gilligan after the group killed her coworkers. Does she think they can repair their relationship? Would she rather do her work elsewhere?
This is that thing where she has no hard feeling. I remember this, and I think one of the reasons nothing could really go from that was because it was very like, we gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she has any hard feelings for Gilligan. And honestly, she didn't want to kill her coworkers. That was just, we have no choice. It was them or us, and they had no qualms about potentially killing Gilligan or Mama Marigold, and that's her mama. And that was that thing of, obviously, like, you know, she was like the newbie of that, and it kind of, in whatever weird hierarchy that was probably established, it should have been her. But I don't know, how do I'm trying to find the words. It's like, with whatever hierarchy they had, yeah, technically it should have been them over her, but they had decided real quick that it was them over everybody. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't care about Gilligan. They didn't care about all the other people. They were fine doing what they were doing because they didn't want to deal with Lilith. And that's that thing of, if they're gonna be fuck you got mine, then we have no other choice than to kind of be the same. No hard feelings towards Gilligan. If she would want to probably repair that bridge if it was possible. And if not, it's not like she can't find work elsewhere. Obviously this place allowed her to kind of be who she was and not worry about, like, someone eventually finding out or anything, since this was a mostly demon-run establishment. But I know, like, Mama Marigold would immediately take her back, and it doesn't matter what freaking God, his name escapes me now. I just, like, brain fart. Gilligan. It's like, it doesn't matter what Gilligan says. This is Mama's place. This is Mama's place. She runs it, and Mama decided that they were fired. So, like, the demons wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Mama Marigold letting them in. And the moment they attacked Marile, the moment they attacked Mama Marigold, that was it. So, and it seemed like Gilligan, to an extent, respected that at the very least. So, I don't think any bridges are truly burnt here. They can fix something, but if he said no, get out, then she would respect that.
Yeah, that's fair. And that feels like very Marile in a lot of ways. Like, okay, I'll figure it out. She's a very resilient woman.
She's always figured it out. She's like, she's always somehow figured it out. Like, it's not the first time that she's been on her own. So it'd be really sad because she loves everybody else there. But again, like, those sorts of things can't be helped.
Is there another sort of, like, if it did come to her not being able to go back, would she look for a similar line of work where she could use her natural charms, or would she kind of maybe look into something else?
Accountant Marile.
Well, the thing is, we never super duper got into her backstory when she was in Spain, because she obviously did start out as a sex worker and then kind of built herself up to a point where she was, like, almost like courtesan in a way. Like, she didn't have to sleep around with anybody willing to pay anymore. She was sleeping with, like, politicians and celebrities to the point that she was able to even get into some sort of entertainer stardom, which, again, she was now just always at the parties and the stuff. So she's I would say when she was in Spain before Nicolo, she was definitely like a socialite than just a sex worker. It's just when it came to after Nicolo, she could never draw too much attention. So because of that, being a sex worker in shady areas, that was pretty much all she could do, utilizing her charms to the fullest so that she gets the most profit out of it. She can't, sing in a subway and freaking let out her inner Beyonce, and then someone records her and puts her on TikTok, because now it's like, oh, there's that succubus we were looking for. Go get her, boys. Like, she could never draw too much attention, which even sometimes when she didn't mean to, she kind of did, which is why her and Nicolo bounced around so much. So it was the easiest way to lay low, and now that the Order of the Sword is like, we don't care, you're free now, she can do whatever she wants. So if she wants to be an accountant now, she can go do that. If she wants to suddenly, essentially actually be Shiadani on TikTok, she can go do that. She can now, if she wanted to return to Spain and try to reclaim any of that stardom that she had, she can go do that. Because there's absolutely no need to hide herself anymore in terms of like bringing attention to her. Before it was just any potential sighting that the Order of the Sword might pick up on means danger. So now it's like whoever knows now it's gonna be like, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't, because Marile is not using it to be evil. She's just trying to live.
Just trying to survive like the rest of us.
It's not my fault everybody else is susceptible to succubus.
It's not my fucking fault.
Like, I didn't ask to be. I was born this way.
Baby, I was born this way. Every fucking time. In my head forever. The Gaga lives on.
Exactly. It's like she doesn't have to do all the other things succubi do. She can enjoy life like a human. She just, sometimes she's just too fucking pretty. Sometimes she just gives you a wink and suddenly, oh no, I accidentally charmed you.
Like, oops, shit, sorry.
That explains so much.
Nicolo, we can't go back to that one TJ Maxx. Why?
Yo,
don't worry about it.
When she learned that she was a half succubus, so many things suddenly made sense. Because there were times where she was like, man, if only I can get that guy to notice me. I'm going to wink at him and, oh, he's noticed me. Oh, wow. I'm so lucky.
Like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, no, she climbed the ladder thinking she was lucky. She just, she just really wanted something and she got it. And then suddenly it's like, no, you've been charming people. And it's like, oh. Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to.
If you're willing to share, you can keep it a secret, because I know we decide when things are, like, if things are going to come out in game or if we're going to save it. How old was Marile when she discovered that she was a half succubus?
She had been, but when DMS started, she was 28. She'd known Nicolo for a year. She learned at 27. She literally learned when she met Nicolo.
Oh shit!
She did not know all of her life that she was half succubi. Like, literally,
Damn.
She's just minding her fucking business. She probably came out of a shower, had her fucking hair in a little fucking towel turban with a glass of wine, just looking out her penthouse window, and suddenly this freaking big buff Italian dude just kicks through like the SWAT team and tries to kill her. And it's just like... She thought she was getting swatted by one man.
I mean, he's a, like, brick shit house of a man, so that's fair.
And again, what got Nicolo to be like, oh, holy shit, was because when he was like, fucking evil succubus, I'm here to kill you, you're fucking shit up. She's like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? I'm not a succubus. Fuck you. Like, what do you mean? That's what got Nicolo to kind of like be like, wait a minute, something's wrong here, because she never knew. For the most part, she was mostly innocent. She wasn't like at the heart of any scandals or anything. She was just really good at getting people to do what she wanted and, moving herself up. And, like, some people might think that she did, like, shady, lot of sketchy under the table shit, but no, she kind of lived relatively wholesome. She just also kind of knew that life on the streets, you gotta do some shit you don't want to do to survive, and she did it. She wasn't ashamed of it. So when she didn't have to do it anymore, she was like, cool, I'm done. But, like, then this dude comes in and is like, you're a succubus, and she's like, excuse me? So no, she lived most of her life, her whole life, not knowing what the hell she was.
That's so interesting. I love that. I've said it a million times, but I'm like, I do love Marile. I think she's so interesting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's not my fault I'm a hot ass bitch.
It's really
Flips
nice. Like,
hair.
It's our fucking Marile emote with her, like, flipping her hair. It's that.
Yep,
forever.
It's just that. She's like, I did not know. All this is unnatural. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And I'm sorry that you suck at the game.
I'm sorry you suck. I
Not
can
my
give you
fault.
advice, but it might not help.
With that face, sorry. Got another question. Meow. It's gonna be for Aaron.
Meow.
Meow. Okay. For the man of illegal magic, the one who's bedded maybe a god, a vestige one, a child of one, who knows? What is his game plan for getting our favorite chaos boy Greg out of the academy? It's for Miriam, if you couldn't tell. Is he scared that they were able to capture someone like Greg? And is he maybe afraid of the fact that he might be putting the more magically inclined party members like Fenny and Lexi in danger?
Yes. No. It's terrifying that they've captured Greg. Whatever I think they passed 1 million subs.
Oh yeah.
They're making noise. I'm assuming that's what that is. The idea that the Academy could continue. There it is. Yeah.
There it is. Congratulations.
Yeah.
The idea that they could contain someone like Greg is pretty intense. So part of me still wants to believe, both as the player and as the character, that he might just be there willingly. Like, why would he want to be anywhere else? He can study magic and hang out with like competent wizards.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also entirely possible that they just got him, and spooky stuff. No plan, because that's not going to be for a while, anyways. And as for everything else, I don't know. It's not even his idea. It's what like everyone else, like Fenris wants to do that.
Yeah.
And while Miriam's hella on board, Miriam is, as of like a while back, he's long since tried to finish himself with holding himself responsible for everyone else's safety, when the highest standard is as complicit in any plan as he ever might find himself. And so as long as he's given them the outline of like, hey, here's the risk, are you aware? If they're like, yeah, then he's gonna trust that they mean that, which is why he was finally able to give Lexi the armor that should have been theirs to begin with. But yeah, no, I want to break that dude out. No plan yet. Something about a giant anti-magic dome around the place. I don't know. We're gonna need to Ocean's 11 that shit. We don't really have enough to create a proper plan. We just know there's a boat that goes back and forth to it, and magic teleporting in and out isn't gonna be a thing, unless it might be a thing. Who knows? Something Adamancy.
We'll figure it out. We'll D&D fuck around and find out.
Really don't want the scholar, so that would be great.
Yeah, no. Hell no. Hell no. Yeah, good answer. Yeah, I'm very curious about Greg. I have my own thoughts, but I'm like, I'll save those for whatever happens, whenever it fucking comes back.
Yeah, well, because like
that.
we're finishing this, then we're taking a bit of time off, and then we're coming back, and then there's Grey Rock, and that's the Veering Grove and everything that's going to go on there. There's like giants around that area, which is, I'm sure, part of that prophecy thing. So there's going to be shenanigans, I'm sure. Then there's Lexi's house, which is going to be filled with monsters. And then we got to stop by the Mithril Dive because we're doing that.
That's where Miriam's from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, probably the Land Away, and then we have to deal with the Land Away and the secrets of Quintus's castle and the ramifications of Lucent being back and possible civil war and Vogan's second temple that he has to visit. And then there's boats from the Land Away up to the Academy, if I recall, if my brain map is correct. So like, there's quite a journey on the way there, and while I'm sure a lot of it will go quite quick, I'm sure lots of it will also take a bit, so that might be a year or two off.
Yeah, and knowing us, who knows how long it'll take.
At least a year off, because we're taking we're doing.
We're basically taking a year off.
Some other stuff in the meantime.
Not ready to take a year off, but that's just because I'm attached.
Yarp.
Oh, the babies. I love them. I love them all so much. That's why I'm gonna ask more questions. Yeah. What's for both of ya? Let's see. What does
For the
that do?
both of yous.
For the both of yous. Yeah.
Diddly potatoes, it's me, Mundus.
Oh my god.
This one's a fun one. Because I wasn't there for this game, so this was asked and I said, fuck it, I'm throwing it in there because I wasn't there for Crystal Tieflings. There seemed to be a spark between Constance and Ignatius. Was there anything there for you two players, or is this purely audience shipping?
I mean, the spark of him chopping wood vigorously, like, what?
I don't know. Listen, I'm going by what the question is, and I'm fucking curious.
I think now this is gonna be rich coming from me, the fucking ship whore that I am. But I think this kind of looks like a case of these two characters are in the same frame.
They're together.
They're together. They must be fucking.
If we were going with the Power Rangers format, I get where they're coming from.
I think so too, because the red and the pink ranger are
Red and
together.
pink, and they're hanging out together, and like, I don't know, it takes something to tolerate a wood chopping obsessed moron.
The like apple crazed gremlin.
Yeah. Like, they definitely at least enjoy each other's company.
They're the Ren to the others Stimpy.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Gonna get a log cabin in an orchard of apples. I'll have my
Baking.
orchard of just trees to cut on the other side.
baking apple pie.
What an idyllic life.
The perfect one.
Yeah, obviously nothing explicitly really came out in game. I get why people would read into something like that though, because if my brain is thinking of Power Rangers, I'd be like, yeah, so it's the Pink Ranger and the Red Ranger, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe it's because if I'm remembering the
And then like the Blue Ranger shows up and they like fight about it a little bit.
It's like maybe now that you can watch the Crystal Tiefling in its entirety versus when it was happening, like maybe Constance had offered him an apple and now people look at it at its whole and they're like, oh, was there more? Like, because like she's very about her apples. So it's just kind of like, you know, maybe there was more to offering that apple. Maybe it was also offering her body. But like,
It was apples to apples.
But like, as far as from what I can remember, it's like maybe they do enjoy their company a little bit more, just like kind of how Lorelai and like Clifton were kind of hanging around together. But then like Lorelai was oh god, names are escaping me. Why? There we go, Casper, Callus Vesper. I was like, his name is Vesper or Callus? I'm literally looking at the files now too.
That's all
and
good.
it's like, it's like Lorelai and Clifton definitely had like a little Tweedledee, thing 1 and thing 2 kind of vibe going from my memory. But then it's like Lorelai and like Callus had a little thing. So it's like, you kind of, it kind of comes up to interpretation because it's like, could Lorelai have had a thing for Clifton or maybe Callus? Like who, you know? But they both talked to each other several times and were in scenes together more than once. So it's like, who knows? But I think she's in a very just friend basis with everyone. I think if Constance started even with Clifton, people might have thought of it because pink and blue, and also like for a good while people thought Cody and I were dating, and it was like, what? So it's like, I think this was just this was a case of
It's
the characters were in the
audience,
same
yeah.
space.
No, I mean, it really is not enough time for the kind of role players that most people in Nat 19 are. Like, unless you want to go like absolutely ham with speed running a romance or just having it already be there, most of us will want to, you know, drag that out over at least, you know, 10, 20 sessions, if not way more.
Yeah, the most you can probably play off is like maybe a little one-sided crush thing, but that's still not something you would pick up unless it was overt enough and purposely put there to pick up.
Yeah. No, anything you're looking for in that is, again, it's got to be something that you would be looking for rather than being overt and obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
That's it. They should all kiss.
Everyone should kiss. To quote Brayden, I just want everyone to make out.
Little Crystal Hunter polycule.
Hell yeah, I'm into it. Let's go. I'd watch that show.
They all eventually fight as the polycule collapses horribly.
Oh.
If the internet's taught me anything.
You know, well.
Like you made it real, Parnell.
You're right, though. But this next question is for you, Parnell.
Oh, meow.
Meow. Which question is this? I've already asked that one. Okay. Oh no. I got excited and then I realized it was a different one. So this question hurts me, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I have to ask this. So Aviana made a joke about not remembering that Lexi existed. How did Miriam feel about that, given his own recent experience in this area?
Sorry, can you give me that one more time?
So Aviana made a joke about not remembering that Lexi existed. How did Miriam feel about this, given his own experience in this area, with people forgetting that someone else existed? See Emma in that whole situation.
It didn't faze him particularly. He's usually pretty quick to catch when people are up to shenanigans. Absolutely, he would have went to investigate, but the two sides of it are they're either telling the truth, in which case he needs to go find them or find what did that to them, or they're fucking with him, and the easiest way to call them on it is to be like, oh no, we need to go find them right now. I mean, yeah, there's a brief moment of panic of like, oh fucking really? Shit, fuck, ass, fuck, balls. But that's, the panic that people he cares about are possibly getting offed by, I don't know, a spooky fog whale from ReZero. Or whatever things eats your memories. Be some bad stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw this question and I was just like, Aviana's social incompetence strikes again. She is socially inept. Did she hurt Miriam again? Whoops.
No, he's pretty keyed into when Avi's fucking with people.
He knows how to call her on her shit.
It's not super common, but Avi and Miriam have a parallel in fucking with people.
Mm-hmm. They do. They really do. Interesting. I'm glad he knew that she was fucking with them. Quinn sure didn't, and that was great. That was the whole point.
Oh yeah, fucking with Quinn that's delicious, even if it is easy. It's
easy.
It's like grabbing a kitten.
Yeah.
Delightful. Not always the most difficult, but still delightful.
I would never equate Quintus to a kitten, but yes.
If they're like a scrungly armor kitten.
Little scrungle bungus that is Quintus Valorbilt. Oh, fuck yeah. We're gonna ask another question about... I guess it really wants to be for Aaron, so we're asking another Aaron question. I rolled that shit 3 times. All right, Catboy, you in the hot seat. Okay. When you reunited with the rest of the highest standard, Clover extended the offer to reach out to her when you were back in Summergrass. Is that something that interests you in pursuing, and do you think you'd be willing to pursue something more with her other than just physical gratification?
That's a tough one, see. Because a part of Miriam sure would like that. They're the kind of person that's real cozy, which is a weakness for Miriam. I mean, Miriam is nothing but weakness, but that's beside the point. He Probably, I mean, he would definitely poke them, be like, hey, yo, what's up? And if they're like, hey, what's up? He'd be down. But relationship-wise, Miriam is super of the mind that if they never stumble onto each other once again, even in Summergrass, it might be better for them. Like, it's like they could do better. They'll be fine. So it's hard to say. Miriam lives in a very dangerous world where, you know, day to day, anyone might die. Usually him, but anyone. And yeah, he doesn't want to inflict himself on a lot of people that he would say might be a little bit more innocent than his typical adventuring parties.
Mm-hmm. From what I did see, they were interesting to watch. Would you say that she kind of left a, because that's something that I'm always interested in, is when characters leave an impression on each other. Would you say that, like, being around Clover left, like, sort of, like, a lasting impression on him, or, like, kind of changed his thought process about certain things?
Not so much changed. They just reminded him of stuff. Like, Clover's probably the closest person to the figment that was Emma that Miriam has met in his travels since.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were definitely pressing on a bruise, so to speak. Very, very, like, they have their own little world, and he barely understands some of it, but it's kind of interesting nonetheless. And they're from a place where they're almost a little sheltered, and that's parts of, like, slightly worrisome to Miriam at some points. He even kind of dropped it for a bit because they almost pulled Alexi, and he was like, wait, do I have to explain the concept of sex? Because if so, this is probably a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, oh no, I just didn't get it. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's what that was. Yeah, no, they wouldn't have changed him much, but they definitely maybe recontextualized how he thinks about a lot of things.
Is there anything in specifics, or just in general?
Just in how he looks at, like, you know, him and the way he relates to other people. Miriam can't really go back to being a normal person. Like, what he had with someone, again, fictitious or not, with Emma, that's not possible for him anymore. Just period. There's literally no going back to something like that, because that was a very, albeit tumultuous, it was the most domestic his life ever was. And yeah, that's just a grave impossibility at this point for him. He can't do that.
Would he ever want to, like, pursue, like, is there any part of his brain that's like, maybe pursue, like, a genuine relationship with someone, or is it just a lot of bandaging the wound right now while he figures himself out?
Either or. Miriam's a weak person, and could be absolutely pulled into something like that. He would probably run away from it, or at least try, from anyone who would want to, because, again, I think the usage of the phrase, he does not want to inflict himself on people.
Mm-hmm.
The danger that comes with being around Miriam is still really present to him, and while he's not going to take the blame for people getting hurt because he exists anymore, that doesn't mean that those dangers aren't there. And, you know, impressive in their own right. Like Clover, they got to the cauldron by themselves, which is part of what kind of fascinated him. He's like, it was miserable for us to get here, and you did it alone? Tell me more.
How in the fuck?
The kind of lives that most people want to lead don't involve the fear of a vampire apparating in your living room at 10 p.m. and looking to murder your boyfriend. And so I think this is kind of as a person who can think about, like, narratives, it's a problem for Miriam, is that there will always be another Satsuma. There's always something that will give him an excuse almost to not have to do those things, because at the end of the day, there's another world-ending threat that's going to destroy someone's life, and he can't he can't willingly expose someone to that risk, at least without feeling like he doesn't really have a clean conscience about it, so he just won't.
Knowing what I do about Miriam, kind of understanding him, it's like, yeah, I can understand why he wouldn't. And the fear that must come with that for him. It's like, it'd be cool, but fucking can't.
Yeah, well, even then, like, let's say that Setsuma was out of the picture. Let's say, like, you take away all of his nemesis. If he doesn't have another monolith, another, like, arch enemy to have to take down, or another prison to break into, or artifacts to find, all of that falls away. He would still have a really rough time of it, because there's still the ghosts of what can be there. And it becomes a thing of, like, there's so much healing there to do, and it's not something that, at least at present, Miriam's equipped to really do. He's been fighting a war against not really any one thing, like, as much as he's got faces and names now, you know, Fierna, Setsuma, not really Fierna anymore, I guess, for the most part, but Setsuma is a big one for him. He can look and point at the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Miriam is also just trapped in the mess that comes with being, especially now, a caster of that caliber. Retia is his enemy. Like, at the end of the day, Miriam stands basically, like, every time he talks about his, like, principles on magic, he stands in abject opposite of everything that Retia stands for in terms of magic. They talk about restricting it, making sure everything goes, like, super smooth, no magic above a certain level, or prison, or the academy. And Miriam is exclusively about freedom and, you know, finding the taboo, finding, like, relics of the past that have been purposefully or unwittingly hidden away by people, either maliciously or just unwisely so. The idea that anyone can dictate what we are allowed to learn from our past is alien to him. And so even that on its own, like, he will, I think intentionally or no, and he'll believe this of himself too, he's going to create those problems. Those problems will chase him.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as he's running from ghosts, he will probably never really slow down unless someone can chain him to something. Really, if he loses, that's kind of it. If he ends up in the academy and, you know, there's someone hot there, he'll be like, well, how you doing? Because at that point,
that's me.
Fuck it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, barring that, he would not inflict himself on someone like that.
It's understandable, like, sad, but very understandable, his outlook on it. Can I ask another question? Good fucking answer, Aaron. Again, real good answer. I love that boy. But I've made no secret about the fact of how much I fucking love Miriam. Okay,
Lots of fun.
Okay. Oh, he's great. He fascinates me. It makes me very sad. But I love him. Speaking of loving things, we love our D&D characters. I got a question for both of y'all. What do you guys do to get into character for your different D&D characters? I wrote this weird. What do you guys do to get into character for D&D? Is it a simple snap of the fingers and you're there, or do you have sort of a process to get into the mindset of different characters that you play?
I'll let you start off with this one, since I just went for a bit of a TED Talk.
I don't really do anything. I'm just kind of sitting here like, I don't do anything. Like, I know, like, sometimes I'll, depending on, like, if I have the time nowadays, I try to watch the previous session so I get a general idea of where my character's mind was the last time I was in their head. But other than that, there's not, like, any sort of mantra or, like, no, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm Marile now, and then there we go. No, I don't think I do anything.
I admire that. Again, what about you, Aaron?
I mean, character work for me is a lot about understanding what a character would and would not do in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the less like a character you are, the more difficulty you're going to have getting into character. You know, again, I had genuine issues being a dink to all my friends when I was playing Lancer, but I did it. And it didn't really take me, like, I didn't have to sit down and breathe through it all and be like, all right, remember to be an asshole or anything. But it's just making sure you're conscious of where your character is versus where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm getting into like session and we're getting into the pre-stream and everything, or how I can even the nights before, brain rotting about D&D is a type of character work. If you know what your character has gone through and feels and how they might react to certain situations, even if it's not something you've run by your DM, if it's true to you and it's not, intrusive, then it's true. And there's a lot of really, really easy ways you can get into a character in a big way, and they'll influence you. I've talked about how playing a down bad bard has allowed me to be much more honestly down bad in real life. I generally don't have to work to get into characters, Marion, because I've been doing it for so long. At this point, I can just get up and I know how Miriam is going to react to certain things because I've spent so long crafting how Miriam thinks just in reaction to everything that's gone on that it's kind of predictive at this point. When something happens, it's just reacting to it in the way Miriam would. And that's as easy for me at this point as acting as myself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's when I think about it, it's like, yeah, no, it's like, again, most of the time whenever I rewatch the session, again, it's just a refresher of like, where was Maudile when Logan called it, just so I can get back so that I'm not like brain farting when it's time to remember stuff or when it's time to like engage. But other than that, it's just, I've spent enough time with the character that I'm like, yeah, no, I can just get into Maudile. And most of my characters are a little bit of a facet of myself, just kind of played up to 11. So it's like they're all me. So it's like that's where it's kind of a little bit easy too, because it's just do you, but also you're a sex worker. Like it's it just kind of happens.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit, especially earlier on in campaigns, like in your first 5-10 sessions, to really take moments to internalize how your character might be feeling, because sometimes you might fall into rhythms. This is something that I've seen lots of players do over time, where it is very easy to act as ourselves, and every character generally carries fragments of us in them. That's just, it's kind of it's what I talked about before, where people will have an idea for a character that they can't really live up to because that shard of themselves that flies into the character pulls them out of whatever archetype they might be. We had issues with characters that were akin to like a Bond-esque like femme fatale, or even like a James Bond-esque like spy character. But those characters exist in a way that manipulates the world. Like the world has to kind of bend to them because those characters don't fuck up. And the truth is that in D&D, you're gonna fuck up. Even if you personally, like literally don't intellectually fuck up, the dice says anytime you roll it that there's a 5% chance you do as badly as possible. And it's not really realistic, but we're not here for realism, we're here for fantasy.
Yeah.
So getting past all of that, when you're getting into a character, and you can be mindful of how much of yourself is getting into that character. If you want to make sure you can control that, one of the best ways you can do as a player is kind of take inventory of where you versus the character is and find those differences. It's the easiest places to find those is when people are trying to play like a darker or evil character. It can be genuinely difficult in ways that aren't as like, it's not a physical effort, but rather there's an intellectual strain where you, the player, are still going to want the best for people because you want to have fun at the table. You want to make sure everyone else is having a nice time. But an evil character does not give a fuck about that, depending on who they are. Like, there are just things your character probably aren't going to be even remotely sorry for, that you might at the table be batting your eyes at your players, be like, don't hate me, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you're playing a giant dickbag, or you're playing Raceland, if you're an evil wizard, you're gonna do some shit that you personally might not be super comfy with. And so it's about balancing those scales where it's as fun as playable, but you're not sacrificing what you think is important to a character.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not something I need to get too into, because we have a really, really good team of like actors and improvisers in Net 19, and so it's very easy to jump into a character. And outside of when we all kind of get a little babbly and we move into our shattered realities asides, we're pretty good at staying in it when we do. And once you're really in and present as a character in a scene, it'll start coming out pretty naturally.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
kind of flows. Hell yeah. I love that. I love always knowing just how people perceive things like that. That's why we have this fucking show. We got time for a couple more questions, so I'm gonna roll the dice. Hope y'all. Oh, it's for Anna. For you, my love, my
What are you-
squeakeroni. Papa. It's not that question. All right. Well, that worked out, because let's fucking go. This is a very interesting question, especially with Marile being who she is. For Squeaky, as a demi-person, how does it feel playing Marile, a character who leans into physical relationships with people, but she doesn't know how, this is written so weird and I didn't change it, so I'm just gonna read this over before I read it back to you, because I'm such a good fucking host. Alright, so as a demi-person, how does it feel playing Marile, a character who leans into physical relationships, but seems to be scared of intimacy with people that she has a strong emotional attachment to?
Can I be real for a second?
Be so fucking real, bro.
So there were times where playing Marile legit made me question if I was Demi. Now, but then after I really looked at it, I was like, but if somebody was right in front of me and that would help me, and getting from point A to point B meant doing the do, would I do it? The answer was absolutely not, and that's how I reaffirmed my deminess. So I'll tell you, audience member, who might one day be in my position of, I'm playing a whore, but I'm pretty sure I am not one. What do? Here's the secret. Because you're not actually fucking anybody, it's really easy. Because you're never truly committing to the bit.
This is, I definitely can dogpile onto that. I flirt with my homies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways to make it really easy for me to flirt with a friend is the more sure I am that we are never gonna smooch, the more I'm like, yo, what's up? We kissing when? Give me a time and date. I'll be there. Because if they could turn it around and be like, no, seriously, that's when I'm gonna turn into like lumpy pancake batter. Just dissolve.
There'll be times where I'll be like, get ready for this, and I'll be like, but actually no.
Yeah.
Like,
there's comfort in confidence like that.
Yeah, that's that thing where it's like, again, like getting into like risque talk with like Briar and thus technically Logan. That doesn't mean that like, should Logan like barge into my door and be like, sex? I'd be like, no, get out. Like, or
what the fuck?
well, how did you even get here? How did you even get here? Or like the times that like freaking the times that Cody is DM'd and we've gotten into the heavy stuff, and then it's like, but also like, we're not fucking. Like, no, it's fantasy. That's the answer.
Yeah.
It's fantasy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's character work.
Yeah, just because my character or I'm acting like I would be that way does not mean that, one, I'm actually putting myself in that position, and two, does not mean that if I was in that position, I would reciprocate that. Already just the idea of like But what if they were no.
Yeah, I mean, that's why so many
No.
different groups have like, you know, check-ins and stuff on that. I remember that one time we had Logan check in on you both specifically because it's like, hey, this was a little more intense than even like the use.
No,
So
that succubus scene, I was like, like I was playing it like Marile, but at the end I was like, once we took that break, I was like,
Like, my
but at the same time, I was like, but no, we're good, dude. It's not. It's just this is fantasy. Nothing was actually happening. I was sitting here in my pajamas with like my foot on the table, being like Cheetos, like or whatever I was doing at the time. It was just, it's like, no, it's fantasy.
Yep.
So that's the easiest way to kind of do it. Like I questioned it for a moment because I was like, damn. Because there were some times where I was really comfortable, but I was just kind of like, I'd fuck Briar, but I wouldn't fuck Logan. And the reason I can say, oh, I'd fuck Briar is because Briar's not going to come out of my computer screen and be like, so sex.
oh really?
So,
I am never going to ever be put in that predicament realistically, so I don't have to prove shit to you.
no, the amount that I get that's like that, it's just, it's fake. It's fake people.
It's fake people. It's just fiction. Oh god, it's fictional characters.
Love when fake people fuck.
I think we might need to stop before Twitter starts attacking. We're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of self-discovery that that especially role-playing games can bring to any one individual, and you can find yourself learning lots of stuff about yourself, or again, getting more confident in being open about things that like you have other friends that just aren't. Like Logan is nowhere near as open about sexuality as I am, because I've been playing a horn dog for 3 years in a role-playing game, and it's rubbed off on me. I adore so many people. I'm like, yo, what's up? Let's do it. Let's kiss and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah. And then I run away. But before that, I'd just be like, I joked all the time. I'm like, my way of flirting previous to that was I would say hello and I would never speak to you again. And I figured like they'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's, again, it's that thing of like, when it comes to playing flirty, very open characters, it's like, yeah, I can do that real easy. For better or for worse. Because Marile is actually not my first openly flirty character. She was just, now let's add actual sex into the mix. And again, it was really easy to kind of be flirty and like throw an innuendo or like throw a little eyebrow wiggle there. But at the end of the day, it was like, I'm not doing anything with anybody. So because I actually don't want to.
Creating a safe environment is super important for stuff like that as well. Because, you know, there's those horror stories elsewhere where that isn't the case. And I mean, it shows. You would know as a player immediately, like, you know, question asker, wherever you may be. If a table's not going to make you comfy in that position, you'll feel it. You'll know.
Yeah, I also wouldn't normally do those sorts of things if I didn't know that whoever is probably going to be at the receiving end wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like if someone told me, if someone told me like, hey, so I'm not really into like people eyebrow wiggling towards my character, I'd be like, okay, cool. Then I now know that for my character, it's just they get that vibe that person is off limits. We don't need to have a whole big character talk about it. We don't have to like even worry about accidentally crossing that line or skirting it. It's just, oh, my character, why'd you never flirt with that character? Oh, just a vibe. Oh, just a vibe. That's it. That's all it has to be.
It's amazing what a few conversations can do for the health of a table.
Honestly, I think that's the importance of like session zeros and things like that, because getting the vibe of a table and the comfortability of your fellow players is so bloody important.
Yep, knowing where people are comfortable going, where they're not, that will happily dictate exactly where roleplay should exist. And you know, at a private table, that can go even into fucking nuttier places that honestly I'd probably be uncomfortable being in. I mean, that's the fun of roleplay, is you can do and try things that you wouldn't normally be. You can be who you might not be or aren't at all and never will be. But it's D&D, yo. And in the process, you might learn something about yourself in both D&D and in VR chat. This is tangentially related. I've met so many people who have discovered varying degrees of either being non-binary or trans because they had the opportunity to express themselves in a feminine way that they didn't before. And then kind of the damn walls begin to crack and break immediately following that. And I think it's really healthy for a lot of people to try and break down what we think we're supposed to be. And once you start doing that, you might be very surprised at what you find. And once that dam's gone, there's no putting it back. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Be prepared, and if you're not, maybe get a good therapist. But there's a lot to learn about you, and role playing is just another way to do it.
So good. Y'all are so fucking thoughtful. I love it. I'm just sitting here just loving this. I love listening to y'all. The show is purely selfish, just to make my
Trying to jump in so deeply into your question.
No, I love it. Gimme, grabby hands is what I'm here for. I love it.
It's just funny because it's like for a good while I was pretty sure I was Demi, and then Madi like kind of like shook it up a little bit, where I'm just like, no, am I just like actually a hoe, and I'm just being like being holier than thou about it. But then it's like, once I like really thought about it, I was like, no, I'm Demi. Like it was after playing Marile for some time that I was like, no, I think I'm Demi. Like I think I'm Demi, and that's where I could like fully say like, yeah, no, I am Demi, because I even before Marile I was super on the fence.
It's neat how characters can kind of solidify those parts of us. Those parts. I was trying to say pieces. Pieces and parts, and it just parts. Parts. Well, we got time for one more question before we wrap things up here, so I'm gonna roll the dice. Meow. It's for Aaron.
Meow.
Oh, meow. Meow. Okie dokie doke. Already asked that one, so I gotta roll again. I've already asked number 3 dice, please. I've already asked that one, motherfucker. Please. Already asked. Why so many 3s today? Cool, great, awesome. So Miriam, this is recent, I guess. I suppose this is a couple sessions ago. For Miriam. Your not sister Sep's sister bird friend, maybe, Aviana came in to spend a comfortable night with you and check in on ya. What was Miriam's reaction to waking up on her lap? And how has he interpreted that night and her actions?
That was weird.
I love how it was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, that was is that a character for them? He was like, what's going on there? This is new. I mean, to be fair, it's not out of character. It's rare character for them because Avi's a giant softie. But they were checking up on him, waking up on Avi's lap. Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's a not telling people about that. It was strange, but he enjoyed the company. He felt like Mr. Popular. How I joked about it. I'm like, I was Mr. Popular that session. Everyone was talking to Mary. I got a bit of Flux, bit of Lexi, bit of Avi. It was great. But yeah, he also, I'm sure, married a little bit and was like, hey, I'm making people worried. Fuck.
Yeah.
But
Fucking.
he's happy to pass out on, beautiful people's thighs. That sounds great.
Agreed, though, because what's up, girl? But no, I'm always, their relationship is, I was happy that question got asked, because I'm like, their relationship's always so interesting to me, because I know where she stands on things. She certainly does not know where he stands, which is why she's like, I don't expect you to want to talk to me. But it's always interesting, like, seeing, like, sort of his side of things, because their relationship is turbulent sometimes and strange. I think strange is probably the best word for it.
Yeah. I would describe the shadow duo as a strange relationship.
I love it.
The night
interesting.
bakas.
The night bakas. Fucking. I think you phrased it as like a couple Wits and Crits ago. It's like they are two people who are intrinsically linked together. So it's like, yeah, they have a weird fucking connection.
Yep, connected through hell, the Shadowfell, and more the Shadowfell.
Again.
And death.
So much fucking death.
Literally, and possibly at this point, literally death, the concept. Because your mom might be dead.
Oh, I'm not ready to deal with that shit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
For your edification, Squeaky, Aviana's mom is, from our understanding, trying to become the god of death.
Yes.
So
I remember a long time ago, Logan showed me Hathiora's art. That's her name, right? Hathiora?
Hathiora.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hathiora.
It took so much willpower not to ask to take Hathiyora's feather dance.
You should have done it though.
And I remember he showed me the art because like he needed to show somebody, and I was like, who dis? And they were like, this is Avi's mom. She wants to be a death god. And I just wanted to show you this. And I was just like, okay, thank you. And I was just like, wait,
man.
what's going on? Like, what? I don't go here, what? Does Avi know her mom wants to be the death god? Like, no, she hates her mom. I'm just like, what?
Yes, it's complex. It's like, hate's a strong word. It's in there.
Complicated.
It's complicated. There's layers to this onion.
Yeah.
To this bird cake.
There's fucking time travel layers involved.
Uh-huh. Just trying not to think about that.
I don't know how much time travel has gone on because we only know what we did, but the fact that we know it's possible, granted it was through the intervention of what we assume to be a god. It's with things like Velis and Hathiora and other people, and now Ceroden, Tenkei, all working in different ways to ensure either the formation or the creation of the conditions that led to the highest standard forming, or circumstances happening to them in the present. Like how many entities in the world already knew about us, either before we were born or as we were born.
There's just so much, there's so many unknowns, especially to, like, the time shenanigery. Where it's like, I want to know, though. I keep jumping, my brain keeps jumping back, just like, I want to know what the fuck is Velis's deal. We're not gonna find out forever. I'm not gonna find out for so fucking long, but I want to fucking know, because I'm nosy.
Maybe ever.
Maybe ever. I mean, Logan's told me as much. He's like, you might not ever find out what's going on with Hathiora. I'm like, I beg to fucking differ. I'm a character who's like, no. We gonna find out about this shit. I'm a stubborn bird. Alright, let me see if we have any more questions that I think we haven't touched upon. I think that is about all the time we have and all the questions that I have for y'all. Do you guys have any final thoughts, feelings, questions that you want to just touch upon at all where you feel like you haven't fully fleshed out?
Off the top of my head, no.
No.
But I'm sure in like 20 minutes I'll be like, that would have been cool to bring up. But that's, you know, how the universe goes.
That's how I do it, literally.
I'm kind of in that same headspace where I'm like, no, I think I gave a good answer without going like too like potentially like what's a good like without deviating too much and then kind of losing the trails. So I think I'm pretty satisfied with some of my answers. I think I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for such a cozy, chill episode. I really loved this. This was nice. I loved having you guys on. Well, that's all the time we have then. Promote your fine selves. Where can the people find you? Heck, and starting with a Squeaky. Where can the people find you?
Well, thankfully, because no one else has ever truly put Chiona at the end of their names, you can find me at exactly Squeakychiona. No numbers, no weird combinations. Just have fun spelling Chiona. In fact, I'll do it for you. Squeaky, C-H-I-O-N-A. That's it. Any other Squeakychiona, any Squeakychiona you'll find on the internet, it's me. It's me. No one else.
Me.
I've lucked out a lot. No one has taken my name anywhere.
Nate, what socials can they find you on?
You can find me on Twitter. You can find, well, the site formerly known as Twitter. We're just gonna refer to it like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. The site formerly known as Twitter. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube. We can talk about Blue Sky. You can find me on Blue Sky. Again, just Google my name, and anything you see, that's where you'll find me. Anything that comes up on the first page of Google.
Hell yeah. What about you, Aaron?
I exist in stark contrast. I'm at war with every other guy who decided that frost should be frozen. You can find me on Twitter as at the Aaron Parnell. If you look for Frozen Frost, you'll probably also find it. It's the Catboy. You'll see me doing Catboy things. You can also find me over at my Twitch on Tuesdays and Fridays at twitch.tv/FrozenFrost. I got that one. They can't take it from me. Get wrecked. And yeah, that's basically all I do outside of this. Obviously, the other things we do with Project Mouthwash and At19. No, I'm not particularly that much more interesting. I don't got a Blue Sky just yet. I need 2 at some point, so then I can steal Frozen Frost from all the other would-be Frozen Frosts from there, just in case.
I can give you a
need
Blue
like
Sky
a code
invite.
or something.
I was like, I have some. I'll give you one after this.
Yeah, I've got one too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Get right, Frozen Frost.
Hold on, let me answer this question for you. Make sure it's been taken or not. It's gonna be really funny.
This is the final
if it's already
question.
been taken. Just really quick, just fucking Frozen Frost.
Fucking Frozen Frost. FFF.
Yo, nobody got it. You better hurry
Let's
the fuck
fucking
up.
go.
Hurry the fuck.
I'll send it to you before we air this episode.
I can send you one right now.
By the time you see this would-be Frozen Frosts, it will already be mine.
Oh, man. Well, I suppose if you want to see more of me, you can always pretty much find me roaming around the Net19 space. But if you want to find me specifically, you can find me on the website formerly known as Twitter, X, at HeyBaleVoice. You can find me on Blue Sky. I think it's HeyBaleVoice on there. I think. If you look up Hayden Davio, you'll find me on there. I'm on Instagram at HeyBaleVoice. You can also find me on Twitch doing the VTube thing as Scylla Aria. That's Sylla Aria, A-R-I-A. For those of you who are unsure how to spell it. You can find me over on Twitch as well as Twitter as Scylla Aria. And over on YouTube, I guess. I need to start uploading there. I'll get around to it. It's fine. But if you want more on Net19 specifically, remember you can tune in here on Monday through Wednesday for gaming streams with the cast. Monday, it is Aaron, Spencer, and Carrie for Cutie Cult. On Tuesday, we have Cody, Izzy, and Eric for the Cool Kids. I almost said Chaos Crew, and that's incorrect. But every second Wednesday, that isn't this. Hello, what's up, Wits and Crits? I'm really good at my job. It is Chaos Crew with myself and Brayden. Thursdays is alternating D&D games. We have Princes of the Apocalypse, which is DM'd by our wonderful Aaron, who is here, and Devil's Might Surrender, which is where our wonderful Marile, Manny, and Fio is from, which is on the other Thursday, so those will alternate. And, of course, every Saturday, save for the first of every month, and sometimes holidays, or if things, happen, because life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Saturdays, we have Vestige of a Fucus. And if you are interested in merchandise like the dice that I was rolling today, you can head over to nat19show.com. And if you're interested in specifically our shop, nat19show.com/shop, you can also learn more about our team itself, information about our shows. You can find links to our Patreon, which for those of you who support us over there, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.